May 23rd. Obligatory cars going by, obscuring my view of the pond. It just so happens to be perfectly timed. Anyway, making a video, heading to work. So just with my Nikon here, I'm filming it using my iPhone, filming the Nikon, just so I can show what I'm filming. Again, these sunspots have changed from 2 nights ago. Very slight differences. The big sunspot has moved downward. So that shows that the sunspots are shifting, not in a clockwise fashion, but an unknown pattern. Okay, so I'm just recording a voiceover narrative of what we're looking at here, as I forgot to turn on the microphone on my Nikon P1000. So, it's very fascinating because, as you can tell, the sunspots have moved. And that big one, but it's actually not big, it's small, because the sun is small and close to us. So, I'll call it the, in quotes, big sunspot has moved. And it's moved downward in a 45-degree angle to the right and down from what I observed 2 nights ago. It would have been really interesting to see what it looked like last night. Look at that. And I remember saying when I was recording this that that is the most clear, the best detail I've ever seen a sunspot. And I filmed it 3 times now. So, just some things to note. I think the big sunspot has the same shape as it did 2 nights ago, and it also has the 2 little ones above it. Now, moving over to the larger group of clustered sunspots, if you will, I do believe they are the same pattern as I observed a couple nights ago. And they also have shifted, but not so much. I believe they've also shifted down and to the right, but not so much. Now, if you go back and compare the May 21st footage, you'll see what I'm talking about. But again, that's a group of sunspots. Quite big ones, too. And we have no idea what a sunspot is. Apparently, it just looks like a hole or multiple holes in the sun. And that's all we know, because we don't know what the sun is. We dismiss all heliocentric claims and Space Authority claims given to us by the Space Authority, NASA. We just dismiss that. So now as I go in for another zoom, and the sun is obscured by a cloud, and it appears to be within the clouds, but I challenge that it isn't. I believe that it is an illusion of perspective. But as we re-understand light, we have to consider all things. So we don't know definitively that it is or isn't, because we definitively do not know that the sun is actually there. I think it's apparently there. It appears to be like a projection, if you will, from a source, either above our realm or somewhere else. We don't know yet, and that's why I like studying the cosmos with an open mind, without any preconceived ideas about what it is and what it isn't, and just observe. You can see the bird going across the sun there. Our close and small sun, not a burning ball of gas 93 million miles away. That's just nonsense. It's just a load of crap. Anyway, I was just blown away by the clarity of these sunspots tonight. You can see the depth of field as the clouds go in front of the sun, whatever the sun is. So I'm trying to get it centered right now so that I can go for another max zoom. I really wish I had remembered to put on my microphone, but I did for a bit. It's coming up. Going for another max zoom. As the sun has apparently changed color. It's more of an orange color now as it got lower apparently in the sky. And remember, it has not changed color. It's just a perspective phenomenon and a frequency phenomenon. And these are my theories and others who also believe this. It's a twofold effect, perspective and frequency. And I would like to add to that, the atmosphere, density, and the shape of our eyes. All of it is contributing to the apparent changes in the illusion of what we are looking at in the sky. Now, I am located west of Toronto by about an hour, and the reason I can view the sun like this is because it has no glare, and I'm not using a filter on my Nikon. No filter. Max zoom P1000 right there. The reason why I can film it with no filter is due to the wildfire smoke 3,000 kilometers west of me in Alberta, causing the sun's glare to be minimized, allowing us to view this amazing sunspot phenomenon on our sun. The reason why it's constantly moving like that is because I'm trying to reposition my tripod and get it center framed. Looking at two things. The cluster of sunspots in relation to the big sunspot, and if it's changed in 2 nights, both as separate entities and as a whole, compared to 2 nights ago, both as separate entities and as a whole. So just a quick theory of what I'm looking at. I've noticed that the larger sunspot has moved more than the cluster of sunspots in a downward into the right fashion. But I'd have to compare footage to be absolutely certain. I'll try to stop talking, but it's just amazing. I think it's important that I at least express, for the sake of humanity and mankind, my opinions on what we're looking at, since I dismiss all of the mainstream space information. Finally remember to turn my microphone on, so that's a cloud at the bottom section of the sun. I'm going to do my best to do another maximum zoom. Should be good. So I'm barefoot, staring at the sun with my eyeballs, as well as recording this, as the autofocus works, trusting the autofocus to do a better job than I can with manual. We don't know what sunspots are. It just looks like a hole in the sun, doesn't it? We don't know what the sun is. So therefore, it's a mystery. And I'd rather have it be a mystery than told what it is. Because I don't trust the space authority at all. They've been lying about everything. The moon landings, what space is, who we are, where we came from, what created us. No explosions that magically created all this. It's just bullshit. So what is this? I don't know. But it's awesome, isn't it? I am west of Toronto by an hour. And the reason I can do this with my no filter on my Nikon is due to the forest fires in Alberta, which is 3,000 kilometers west of me right now. And I'm viewing the sunset with no glare. And any moment now, the sun will dip behind the clouds. And just to give perspective on where it is in relation to the solstice position, it's setting at the midpoint of the barn. And on June 21st, it'll set on the right section of the barn. And that's using my hand. It's about 7 arc degrees every month of movement north to south. And right now the sun is south of the Tropic of Cancer, but it's close to the Tropic of Cancer. And I'm going to stop recording now because the clouds are there. Hope everyone enjoyed this. This concludes part 2 of my sunspot documentation on consecutive nights, except 2 nights later. Again, the sunspots have moved, but not in a clockwise fashion. In a random pattern, it seems. Hoping to capture the sunspots tomorrow night as well, for a further observation. And this will be part 2 of the sunspot documentation, and consequently, IJAG 9, astronomy log number 55. Hope everyone's well. One more. Okay, so I've just documented the sun, and there it goes.